bow your heads and bow with us. Our Father and our God, we thank you again for bringing us together as a community, dear Lord. We thank you for all the help that the people in this community have brought to help us recover. We ask you to continue to inspire us, dear Lord. Show us the way, protect us, and always help us to do the right thing for the betterment of not only this community, but this city that we so deeply love. We ask you to watch over our children and to let us be a beacon that those children may follow, both in our faith and in our conduct. We ask you also to inspire the elected officials, dear Lord, so they may keep in mind not only what is good for this community, but what is good for our society and the integrity associated with it in making their decisions. And we ask this in God's name, amen.
I'd like to ask Michelle Douglas to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks, Michelle. And I would like a motion to accept the minutes of the May 14th general meeting. Anybody? Joe moved, and who seconded? Todd, all in favor? The motion carried, and the minutes are in. Before I get started, I don't want to forget to thank Jan in the back for doing soft drinks. Mark Uda was our chef tonight, and the food was absolutely delicious. I want to thank him. And I want to thank Ralph for doing the PowerPoint and the slides that we're going to have tonight. And let me just briefly show you all. I recognize Todd Wallace. This is Todd Wallace, our former president and current board member. He was recognized as the Attorney of the Month by this magazine, Attorney at Law, and it's a wonderful article on him and how great he is, which we already knew. So here's the magazine if anyone's interested. Okay, we're going to talk about our Ask the President segment. There were a couple of things I wanted to address. Somebody asked me just this weekend about Lakeview School on Milne, and I'm sure many of you are wondering about that. Well, we have found out that the property has been sold to an entity that intends to, or the plan is to make it into elderly or condominiums for the elderly. We want to make sure you all know that we're going to watch out for that. We're going to make sure all the zoning rules and whatever they have to do to get to that point. As I understand it, it is zoned for either a school or single-family dwelling. So they're going to have to do a lot of things before it can become what they apparently want it to become. So our zoning committee and our board will stay on top of that. I've also gotten a lot of requests, and this is a bit unusual, and I think it's wonderful, people moving back to Lakeview wanting to know about a builder or an architect or whatever, and they're asking for suggestions. And obviously, as an association, we're not going to say we recommend Joe Blow or whatever. But I would recommend that you look at our newsletter. It's a wealth of information on a lot of services, such as construction or architecture, what have you. Or in this kind of setting, you come to a meeting, start asking your neighbors. So we're going to try to encourage people to do that. One thing that I keep getting asked, and I'm sure other members of the board get asked the same question, and I'm just going to repeat it. Everyone's saying, why are we fixing Harrison Avenue and not fixing the streets? Well, the bottom line is Harrison Avenue monies, if we don't use it for Harrison Avenue, we lose it, which is what Todd represented at our last general meeting, and Freddie did too. And the monies that are going to Harrison Avenue Streetscape would not fix our streets, okay? It would, fix a mile of our streets maybe? So even if we could redirect the money, it wouldn't do much good. So hopefully that'll end the questions, but probably not. Okay, we're going to go out of order. Usually we do our committee reports at the end, but Adrian Bruno, hopefully, I think I saw you here. Adrian, are you here? There he is. We're going to move him up. He is the head of our West Lakeview Committee, and he's got some interesting news to report.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here. How many Westlake residents have here tonight? Hi, I'm Adrian, Chairman of your committee. We're going to meet on August 15th at 2 Tony's in the back room. If anybody is interested in serving on the committee, or if you have any questions, comments, or concerns about West Lakeview, I know all of you West Lakeview residents are wondering about Florida League and when that's going to start. I had talked to Councilmember Giffey, who's here tonight, and she graciously told me that that's going to begin in the spring of next year and be completed, hopefully, by December of 2014. That's the plan. We'll keep you advised. We're bringing back West Fest. I don't know how many of you remember the block party that used to be on West Harrison. We're going to bring that back, counter the season that the Lakeview Fest is in. So you can come over and hopefully we'll get Vinnie Grunch and maybe some other exciting luminaries to show up and have a little fun and highlight what we have over on West Harrison, which is some neat stuff. If nobody's been there, there's a new do-it-yourself dog wash that just opened up on West Harrison. They'll also do it for you if you need them to. But we've got a new business over there. And you know, of course, we love Sea Ray. So come see him at a service station. It's the only non-ethanol gas station that I know of, and Sea Ray will tell you how bad that is for your vehicle. So we have lots of exciting things going on in West Lakeview. Please come by. If you have any questions, let me know. Is there anything I didn't cover? All right, very good. If anybody's got any questions, it's westlakeview@lcia.org. It's email. Thank you.
Thank you, Adrian. And I was at the cleaner over the weekend, and I was amazed that there was very little parking, which is so different just a couple of years ago, so it's great. Now we're going to recognize our public officials who are here. Is Senator Murray present? Okay. All right. I know Councilmember Guidry's present. I'm pretty sure I saw her. Thank you for coming.
Good evening, everyone. So can I have a show of hands? How many people prefer the Tuesday night to the Saturday morning? Okay, so that's going well, huh? Yeah, all right, and congratulations, Todd. That was an incredibly impressive article and an impressive award. Congrats. All right, I'm just going to run through things that are going on with regard to the Lakeview School location. Since Dan brought that up, the developer requested a meeting and met with Kelly Butler, my special projects and land use person, yesterday, and they did not say that they were doing a home for the elderly at all. That wasn't mentioned. They said that they were just beginning the process of deciding what to do with the property. So they wanted to talk with my office about what the possibilities were. Kelly carefully explained to them that this is an LRS 1, so it's a single family. Schools are allowed in single family districts. And that if they wanted to change the zoning, because it's LRS 1 into the master plan, they would have to do a master plan amendment. She told them what I always tell every developer that comes to my office, which is go talk to the neighborhood or neighborhoods that are involved and get them on board with whatever your plan is. And they stated that they wanted to do something good for the community. They also stated that they wanted to save the building. And so they were planning to meet with the Preservation Resource Center. And finally, Kelly, besides sending them to the neighborhoods, also suggested that they talk to the City Planning Commission about possibilities. So they were definitely, had no plan as far as they were telling us yesterday. So we'll see. Vernon Brown, Jim, update. Oh, there's a question up there. Oh, I do not know that. Probably go on the assessor's website. Vernon Brown, North Sea, the North Commission, as may or may not know, was using Vernon Brown as a storage facility. Nord lost its storage facility following Katrina and the failure of our levee system. And they did not, the administration didn't, nor did not tell my office that for probably the first couple of years. And every time we tried to get some agreement on work for Vernon Brown, and he had some private offers of assistance, it was turned down or it was deferred, and finally, at some point, they had to say that they were using it for storage. It is currently there in the process of moving everything out of the building. The bids were supposed to be open today, but my meetings went beyond 5:30 today, and I haven't been able to pull up, I haven't been able to get anyone at North Sea or in capital projects who, well, Big Richard, the head of North Sea, responded that he didn't have any information on what happened today. So I'm really bummed about not being able to come here and tell you what happened with regard to bid opening today. Does anybody else know? Does anybody else know anything? Yes, sir. It opened today with 3 bids. They had 3 bids today. Do we know who the low bidder was? Okay. Oh, you do? Well, thank you very much. Okay. Well, at least we know we had 3 bids that were open today, and so we are on target from what was reported to you at the town hall I held here in April. The bid contract will take about 30 to 45 days, and by then, Lawrence will remove all of their equipment and supplies from Vernon Brown. And do not have a start and completion date. Apologize for that, but we are underway, and so that should be happening. We've been working very hard at the City Council and with the administration on blight remediation efforts. There have been 2 ordinances that have been being considered by the council with the help of the administration. Changes to Chapter 6 and Chapter 26 of the code, pretty much completely rewriting a lot of our blight law. And we are working on that now. We had a meeting yesterday morning, a committee meeting, with a very good representation from Lakeview. Rita Brown was there, Schnutz was there, and I said Rita, Tom, and there were 3. No, 2. Oh, okay, that's right. Sandy was there. I think one of the other neighborhood hoods. But good representation from Lakeview, and we're trying to really tighten up the blight laws, making minimum property standards for both vacant and occupied properties, increasing the charge for violations, the fines to $500 per individual violation, and they can be stacked. And having had a roundtable of all types of different stakeholders, from insurance folks to the property owners who rent their properties to homeowners, etc. We've had really a broad array of citizens come to give input on that. We are going to be taking what we've done so far and putting it in for first reading at the council meeting next week. But we will not be voting on it for quite some time because we're going to have at least one more public meeting. So if you're interested in that and interested in learning more about that, please check on the City Council website. The Housing and Community Needs Committee is a committee that has been meeting on that issue. I am chair of the Criminal Justice Committee of the City Council, and we are in the midst of our mid-year Joint Criminal Justice Budget Committee meetings. We've done 2 out of the 3 of them so far. The 3rd one is set for Wednesday, July 24th at 1 p.m. We have representatives of all the criminal justice entities come before us, our committees, and talk about the status of their 2013 budgets, what's working, what's not working, whether they're staying within budget,
whether there are any unexpected costs, and then we look forward to the 2014 budget a little bit. It's been really an unprecedented thing that I started the first year I was in office, and in terms of giving the city council and the administration information early on in the budget process about what's working and what's not working with the criminal justice entities, which is about 1/3 of our city's budget. So it's an important piece of our budget. So Wednesday, July 24th at 1 o'clock, we will have the juvenile court, the public defender's office, the coroner's office, and the mayor's Nova for Life program. All of those entities or entities, departments will come before us to talk about their budgets. The alley grader. The alley grader is back online. It's working again. It's been fixed. It has been doing some work in Lakeview. However, at this moment, the same team that grades the alleys is also the team that operates the vacuum truck to clean out the catch basins. And because of all the rain, they've been switched to the catch basins temporarily. You should be seeing them back on the alleys soon. And that's sad. We'll check into that when the budget comes up on that. Okay, the Recovery Roads Program, which is the, we had FEMA came through about 2006 to 2007, assessed all the roads for Katrina damage and did repairs. And we've had them come through the entire city again, neighborhood by neighborhood, and do another assessment. And as a result, Lakeview, what is that, about $14 million? Am I right on that? About $14 million more of repairs will be done in Lakeview. This Lakeview 2 area, Robert E. Lee, General Haig, Harrison, and Punch Train Boulevard, is in the design phase right now, and it is scheduled to have construction start by November. Lakeview 1, Harrison Avenue, Orleans Avenue, Kenilworth, and Punch Train Boulevard is waiting on final approval from FEMA. Construction should start in December. The project work is going to be scheduled to run through 2015. So this is our smaller streets getting fixed. You've been seeing the past progress, submerged roads programs, fixing our bigger streets. And with this money and this work, we should be looking at our smaller streets getting improvements. Okay? Harrison Avenue streetscape is 20% complete, scheduled to be completed in the spring of 2014. Is somebody else supposed to be? I didn't see an agenda. Is somebody else supposed to be given? I don't want to take everybody's stuff. You're going to talk on it. Okay, all right. Then I'll just bring up a couple more things. Very excited the City Council just passed an ordinance to allocate $732,000 to the building of this splash park in City Park and for improvements to the Marconi bike path. This splash park should be finished in spring of 2015, I believe, and it is going to be over by the administration building on Marconi. So very excited about that. Cox grants. When we, as chair of the Cable, Telecommunications and Technology Committee, I was involved with negotiating a new franchise for Cox Cable, and that will run for 10 years. As part of that, we negotiated for them to give grants that go through the council, and it's $140,000 per year. And about Harris grants, it's similar to that, but Harris grants can't go to schools because it's gaming money. The Cox grants can. So these are grants that are supposed to be focused on our youth and the technology, whether it's education, training for jobs, technology, media, communications. And each district office will have $20,000, and that process is going on right now. So if you're interested in applying on behalf of your school or your nonprofit for that, those grants, then you can go to the City Council's website and click on resources and look down the list and you'll see the Cox grants there. And that will give you the applications and the purpose and the criteria, and try to get those in quickly because we're looking at deciding those soon. Actually, we're working Thursday on that, Michelle. Yeah, we're very excited about the fact that it can go to schools too. All right, and then lastly, I'll just mention that Mid-City Market is scheduled to open July 31st. Office Depot and things like that are already open. And Costco is scheduled to open September 21st. Very exciting. That will complete the Carrollton commercial corridor. Thank you very much. Oh, questions? Yes.
You were helpful, very helpful the last time we met, helping us figure out what we're going to do with the consent decree and the way they treated the details for our police officers. And I got word that the council was going to take into consideration the vote to exclude Lakeview and to exclude Mid-City from that consent decree. Could you give us an update on that?
All right, yes. We are considering amendments to the ordinance dealing with the secondary employment. One of the big things that the NOPD consent decree speaks to is least paid details. And I know you've all read enough about that in the paper, the aorta of corruption, et cetera, because of the way the paid details are set up. And so the administration has set up this Office of Secondary Employment for the paid details to be processed through that. And the City Council is introducing amendments to the proposed ordinance on creating that office. And one of those amendments that I think we're all agreeable to is that the security districts that are taxing districts, such as Lakeview Civic Improvement, Lakeview Crime Prevention District and Mid-City Security District, which are the two big ones in the city. And I'm asking that the language be specific as to those, because those two districts have a cooperative endeavor agreement, which is a form of a contract with the city. And I won't go into the details, but I really believe that we have a very good argument that they do not apply. This Office of Secondary Employment and this consent decree on this do not apply to these two districts. And I think we have a majority of council who agree. So that amendment is possibly going to be coming up next Thursday. If not, then we'll probably have one more public meeting and then it'll come up at the following council meeting. So that would be very good for both Lakeview and Mid-City, and we're working on that. Anybody else? Yes, sir.
Just an update on the implementation of this neighborhood participation program.
Well, actually, that was the neighborhood participation plan, which is really great. I've worked on that, and it was going to be an ordinance. I created a pilot program a while back after the Ronnie Pilates mess on magazine, and worked on it, and then the administration decided that they wanted it to be their ordinance, and so I said, okay, whatever, let's just get it done. So they worked on it some more and added to it, and it's coming out. It was supposed to be voted on this past Thursday. It's going to give a lot more notice to people if somebody wants to change the zoning or get a conditional use or a variance down the block from you. Within a 300-foot radius of the property, everyone within that radius will get notice of the application for such a change. And then the property owner will have to put signs out saying that they are applying for some type of change, so you'll be notified that kind of way also. And it has a bunch of more provisions in it that will improve the process and give people more notice and more of a say. So that was supposed to go through last Thursday. There was one council person who suddenly, right before the meeting, said they had some issues they wanted to check on, and pretty certain it's going to go through next Thursday.
And you know, how it will affect Lakeview is the fact that we have all these committees in place, the cans and stuff already. Is there anything that trade is going to propose or not additionally, you know?
Okay, all right, so Ann says she asked that question directly. I don't sense anything in there that's going to be an imposition. I mean, if you're speaking from the developer's perspective, then yes, it is going to require the developer to have a meeting with the neighborhood before they submit the application. Okay. No, they won't be replaced. Okay, and could add to that. Thank you all very much. It's very good to see you.
It's basically requiring developers to do what we've asked them to do for years, and that's how I understand it. And Laura Levon did a great article on that. It's on 32 of our newsletter. And also in the newsletter, which just was incredible this time, had a lot of information, we summarized the town hall meeting, and according to Vince Smith of the city, Vernon Brown is going to start in August, and it's supposed to end in March. So we're going to watch that very closely. Next up is Sergeant Joe Bouvier for his report.
Good evening, thank you. Let me give you a quick report, and there were some things that were brought to my attention. I wanted to talk about them and make those quick too. Year to date, we have 140 crimes this year to the day. And last year at this time we had 123, so we're over about 17 crimes. And that's not good news, but it's not terrible news. We have, last year, at the end of the year, we actually had more crimes occur. So the worst part of the year is coming, and we're going to try and obviously focus on those times and those crimes. But as usual, the crime we're having is car burglaries and car thefts. And just to make a comparison, we're in the month of July, and we had 11 car burglaries, and 8 of those car burglaries were unlocked cars again, and most of them occurred within the last few days. And this week we had a car theft where the car was unlocked and the keys to the car were in the car. So I know, I'm singing the same song. You tired of hearing it? I'm tired of singing it, okay? We had a bicycle, I say a bicycle theft. We had 5 bicycles stolen, I think it was Sunday night, Monday morning, from a lady's front porch where she had 8 bicycles. And none of them were locked up, and her position when I asked her about why they weren't secured was, well, I lived uptown and this is like living in the country. I know, I was like, what country? So the point is, and I know with social media and with the neighborhood watches as strong as they're getting here in Lakeview, we got to talk to each other. Is there anybody in the room that doesn't see or talk to me almost once a week? Is there very few people, I think. So what I'm saying is talk to your neighbors, please, again and again and again. Please tell them they have to lock their cars. They have to remove their keys, their guns, their cash, their iPads, iPhones, computers, flat screen TVs, MIG codes, and everything else from the cars. I know I sound like a comedian, but these are all things that are stolen from cars. Somebody had $1,000 worth of luggage in their car, and they left the car unlocked. You know, they didn't steal any of the luggage. They stole some cheap jewelry, but there was $1,000 of luggage left in the car overnight. It's tough to deal with when I get out there, because I get called and I run out to the scene at 5 in the morning, and we're dealing with unlocked cars. And luckily we got some fingerprints, we didn't get any DNA, and I hope we get some matches. You know, I'm singing the same old song, please call 911. Please get involved. Thanks to a 19-year-old boy who called us. He cleared 2 of those cases the morning they happened. He called us. We apprehended the guy in the block. We had to chase him. We apprehended him. And the 19-year-old witness put him in both cars. I had to sit down with the guy and talk to him about his safety because he had safety issues. The perpetrator didn't know where he lived, where he was calling from, and still doesn't know who he is. And the guy positively ID'd the perpetrator. So out of 11 cases, we have cleared 2, which is good, again, good news. He got involved. You got to get involved. You got to have a relationship with us. With me, with the guys out there, you know, you've got to. So if you see something, you got to leave your name, you got to leave your phone number, you got to talk to us. You know, and if the guy that comes out there wearing his uniform isn't nice enough, talk to me. Okay, I'm not nice all the time either, but I want your help, and I will draw blood to get it. I'll do just about anything. Okay. So I talked about car burglaries. That's the key to our crime. That's been the key to our crime in every year that I've checked. Last year we had 119 car burglaries for the year. This year we have 53. And again, we have 6.5 months to go, 5.5 months to go. And I want to kick these car burglars where it hurts, but I need your help. Please help me lock your cars. And if you see anything, call us. A lot of this stuff is happening after midnight. Okay, that being said, you know where we stand with crime. I got a couple of questions asked that I discussed. Speeders, West End, Pontchartrain Boulevard. That's not a Lakeview focus. That you pay us to prevent crimes, burglaries, robberies, murders, those crimes. I did speak to 300, Commander Thomas. That's got to be the focus of the district or the traffic unit. The traffic unit has some money, I don't know if it's state or federal, that they do put radar cars out there shooting radar, occasionally on overtime out of Pontchartrain and West End. They only have a certain amount of hours, so they have to spend those hours all over the city. One of the things that it's not my focus, but it's my concern, is Harrison Avenue. It's under construction. From one end to the other, from from Canal Boulevard to Orleans Avenue, there are signs posted 20 miles an hour. And we have kids, we have 3 schools, we have kids, we have older people like me, we have a lot of pedestrian traffic day and night, especially at night, and people are driving 40 and 45 miles an hour. Remind yourself and your neighbors that it's 20, and it's dangerous over 20 right now, and also remind them that if there are workers in the area at the time and they get a ticket, it's double the fine. Okay? Those are, to me, safety issues are real important. I don't want to speak on Pontchartrain, but I don't want somebody's kid to get hit on August 28th or 29th going that first day of school at one of these 3 schools, crossing a busy street, you know, in the school zone. Okay? That's all I'm going to say to that. And last, not far from least, Bill Trepanier, everybody knows, is trapped, retired, after 49 years of service at 69 years of age. And talk about a good community policeman. I mean, he's not here, and if he were, he's owed a standing ovation for the things he's done in Lakeview in, I think, 14 years, 15 years, since 1998, let's put it that way. He's been a great help to Lakeview, and I'm going to tell you, a lot of business owners, when they lock their doors at night, he would be in their parking lot. So he will be missed by all of us. And if you didn't know him, you missed out. He was a very friendly guy, and he was a good cop. So I don't have anything else at this time. If you have any questions, just sling it out here, and I'll take a shot at it.
I've noticed that, like some of the Harrison is blocked off, homes and stuff, and people have been parking there. Is that legal?
It's not illegal as far as I know. No one's enforcing it, so it would be up to parking control. They're parking there because a lot of the old spots are under construction.
Right.
And again, as long as they're not parking in the travel lane, it's not a problem, and I don't know of any future enforcement on that. So again, just please be cautious, and remember it's 20 miles an hour. We've been talking about lowering the speed limit on Harrison anyway, because it's a racetrack during the day. So please be cautious. And if I didn't say it before, I'm gonna say it again, I probably did. Please call 911 when you need police, call 911. I'm getting a lot of text messages in the middle of the night, and sometimes when I'm off doing something else, and I don't receive them on his phone because I may not be carrying the phone, and a lot of them are about suspicious activity in your neighborhood, and they're calling and leaving me text messages. Please call 911, okay? If you want to send me an email about it, and I'll look into it, call 911 first. Okay, that way the whole 3rd District plus the Lakeview Crime Prevention District officers all hear it come out on this radio. Okay, if you get my emails, you probably get the 911s this big, okay? I always send them out. They're the biggest thing on the page because they're important. Anybody else? Sure. Well, if you have any questions, we'll do it after the meeting, okay? Thank you. Thank you.
And then we're going to have Dan Bradley with the Army Corps of Engineers. Councilmember Giddy just had one quick announcement.
Thank you, guys. I can't believe I forgot this. This is Diana Raphael, and she is the District A Communications Director and Community Liaison, who has just started with our office recently. So you will be seeing her at these meetings, and she's got a background in media and communications, and I think she'd be really great for the District A office.
Hi, Diana Raphael. I live in Lakeview now. I'm renting right now, but before Katrina, I was living in West Park Place for 10 years, so I'm very familiar with the area. I love it. I worked in news as an assignment editor here locally, but after Katrina, I moved around the state, and I worked in Lafayette, Alexandria, and Shreveport. And it took me a couple years to discover there's no place like home. Actually, there's no place above Baton Rouge for being. So I moved back to New Orleans, and I'm glad to have the opportunity to work in the city, and hopefully change things for the good. And I'm new, so take it easy on me, but I'm willing to help. Y'all can help me out as well. Thank you.
Army Corps of Engineers to talk about the permanent canal closures and pumps. Thank you for being patient.
Thank you. Good evening. Thanks for having us come out tonight and talk to you about the permanent pumps and canal closures. As you know, it's been a couple of years we've been pursuing this, the award. We've had some challenges to the awards. We finally got it awarded on May 6th. We're moving forward with PCP joint venture, and they're out there right now. And I'm here to talk a little bit about that, what you can expect coming out, the type of canvassing we'll be doing later on, and also give you an update on the current ICSS. Okay. Sorry. Can you hear me now? Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. Currently at the Alpha Canals, we have what we call the interim closure structures, and they're providing 100-year level surge protection right now. And that they will continue to be operational until the permanent pumps are completed, and we're looking at that to be sometime early in 2017. And they provided 100-year level of risk reduction since 2006. We put in the first phase in 2006, we followed up with the second phase in 2007, 2008. And that provides right now at 9,200 CFS. At Orleans, we're providing around 2,200. And at London, we're providing 5,200 CFS. So we're roughly matching what the Sewage and Water Board is putting in those canals when we do close those gates. The new pumps will be somewhat more powerful. They'll have 12,500 at 17, 2,700 at Orleans, and 9,000 at London. Again, the current 100-year level of risk reduction has been in effect since 2006, and it's gone through several storms. They've gone through Hurricane Gustav, Hurricane Isaac, and they've proven well in terms of pumping out the rainwater and in terms of storm surge barrier. They prevented any storm surge from entering those canals, which happened in Katrina. And again, they'll continue to do that until the permanent stations are commissioned. We've got some renditions. You may have seen some of these in the news media. These are renditions of what the pump stations will look like. They've incorporated several requirements that were placed by the Sewer and Water Board in terms of height. We try to keep these heights under 45 feet, but the Sewer and Water Board requires overhead cranes in these buildings for servicing of the pumps. So it's a little hard to get them low when you have an overhead crane running over all the equipment. But we did get them below that 45-foot height requirement. The footprints of where these will be located are located beneath that rendition, and it shows you where they'll be located in London, 17th Street, New Orleans. Orleans is going to be near Lakeshore Drive, about 500 feet back. At 17th Street, it's going to be near the Coconut Beach, previous Coconut Beach location. And at London Avenue, it's right across from University of New Orleans. And in fact, it's in a peninsula, or a slight V-shaped area, just adjacent to the parking area at UNL. The next slide shows a raised elevation, and it indicates there, if you look closely enough, we'll have these available in the future at our website. Sarah McLaughlin here, in charge of our public affairs, she'll get any information that you need out to you. But this again shows the different elevations, and these pump stations are adaptable. I know some of you have heard about option 2 and 2A, where in the future they may lower the elevation, these canals down and eliminate flood walls. These pump stations are built to be adaptable so that if that were to happen in the future and we had appropriations and authorization, these would be suitable for that adaptation because we're building the foundation at a very low elevation. And you can see on the right side, that canal side, that the elevation of the canal is much lower than on the left side, the lake side. 17th Street construction was a construction footprint we had during the award process. And in the blue area, that's going to be the permanent locations of the pump stations. And the yellow area, or the amber area, will be for the temporary construction, lay down area, construction trailers, that sort of thing. Orleans, we have the same sort of thing. You'll see that the yellow area extends out along Lakeshore Drive, but again, that's temporary. And also, you'll see some down by Marconi and Robert E. Lee, and that will be where the trailers will be located. London, same sort of thing. The blue areas will be the permanent location, where the yellow is temporary construction. Some of the upcoming milestones that you'll probably be seeing soon, January through March of 2014, they'll be installing what they call the open cell coffer dams. This is the first step in the construction of the features of the gate bypass and the gate barrier structure. As you get into October, then they'll be watering these coffer dams and move forward. And each pump station, the 17th will probably be the last to be constructed, with Orleans being so small, being smaller than 3, being constructed first and finished first. And upcoming activities that you may be seeing will be site clearing. Some of you may have already seen this begin, I think it started around the first week of July. There'll be a test pile program where you'll see them out there maybe taking 2 or 3 piles, driving them to the ground and getting readings on what the subsurface conditions are. The geotechnical exploration program will continue through July. In late July, they'll start the site surcharge. What this is, they'll be mounting a lot of material on the soil for compression, so that's almost a pre-settling process. And then by September, the bypass, coffer dam, and sheet pile installation will start at 17, and a few months later, it'll be followed in London and Orleans. Public involvement, again, we have public and civic meetings. We'll be coming out and meeting with you again. Also on our websites and social media, we'll be having schedules so you can see what's coming up in the future, what impacts will be occurring in your neighborhoods as you go forward during the next 40 months. There'll also be a canvassing effort. Well, we have Sarah and a group from our public affairs going out, putting leaflets in your mailbox, letting you know of the upcoming events as well. So there are many different avenues that you'll be notified of activities. The canvassing on the next slide will show you the areas in green that have been canvassed so far in regards to the upcoming events, and the yellow is upcoming, and that's 17th Street. And on Orleans, again, the yellow is upcoming, the green has already been canvassed. London, the same sort of thing. Mostly, UNO is aware, we're on board with them. We're having 1 or 2 meetings already so far, and we'll probably have meetings every 2 months to give them an update. And for more information, again, we have these in the back that we'll pass them out. These are our websites, and follow us on Facebook, and we have construction hotline, impact hotline. If you have any questions about what's going on, construction in your neighborhoods, or concerns about what's going on in terms of construction. And I think I'm on time, so thank you very much.
Great. If anybody has questions, any questions? Well, the good news is, while this is being done, obviously we're going to be protected with the temporary structures. There's going to be no issue. Okay, great. Thank you very much. I wanted to mention that school board member Sarah Houston is at a school board meeting tonight. She couldn't make it. That's why she's not here. We're going to move on to announcements. Elaine Haggerty, as we all know, she gave me an idea for a meeting item agenda, which was, you know, what's going on in 70124? What is this building on the corner? And I get asked those questions. I don't know the answer to them most of the time. So I've asked Ray Bergeron and Brian Anderson to compile a list of new businesses and what's opening and when they're opening, etc.
Thank you very much. Seems like there's construction everywhere, and it's very exciting on one hand and very problematic on the other. The new projects that are coming online quickly are the Lakeview Pearl restaurant, which is coming online on August 15th. That's going to be Asian bistro with sushi bar, etc. That building contains two more tenants, Prim and Posh Spa, and a Man Chef yogurt franchise. They both will be sometime at the end of August and September. So those are coming along. As you know, Brisby's restaurant on the lakefront is opened, and they're doing very well. Brian, do you want to talk about Cava? Cava's new French bistro that's being developed by Robert.
We've had a lot of questions about the piece of property right up the street here that's on the corner. The restaurant was originally renovated. We brought it back up to code, and now we have a tenant that's going to move in. Danny Milan is the proprietor. He's been behind a lot of different restaurants. He's worked with Besh and a bunch of the other restaurants, chefs. He's going to be opening up a French bistro named Cava. As of right now, their plans are to open in late September. They'll be open from 5 o'clock till closing during the week, and then they'll do a Sunday brunch and perhaps a Saturday brunch as well. There's a lot of people have been asking questions about the property here at the corner of Argonne and Harrison, where the temporary library was. The Lupo family owns that building, that piece of property. Our drawings are going through permitting right now, and our plans are to open, to break ground on that property probably in the next 3 to 4 months, and then it'll be about a 6-month construction. It's going to be a 7,000 square foot mixed-use building. The ground floor will be roughly 3,500 square feet, and it'll be retail space. And they're looking at a couple of different business type occupancies for the second floor.
Thank you, Brian. The other projects underway. I think there's a new hamburger shop that opened. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the one next to the Reginald Parlay. It's a new business. Jaeger Burger. Okay, that's new. The Wellness Center, which is the old synagogue project on the end of Canal Boulevard, is also under renovation right now. It's going to be leased out to a rather large health care unit, and it's going to be doctor's offices. That is probably about another 6 to 8 months away. There's a dentist office. I think it's Catalina Dentist is on the permit, they're about to get started on the corner of Harrison and Canal Boulevard, right next to the Blue House. It's right on facing Canal Boulevard, right off of Harrison. That's about to get started. And there's the property at the end of Canal Boulevard of Harrison, which is on West End, has been purchased and is, you see signs up for build to suit. The purchaser, the developer there intends to build a design-build facility for some tenant. Now, it's probably, what I've heard so far is a dentist has looked at it. So it can only be a total of 5,000 square foot building. So it'll be an interesting design problem to do that project. I want to just mention that we have in Lakeview area 26 restaurants with the new ones that are opening up. And I think in West Harrison there's 3. And the rest, lakefront, there's the Frisbee's, the Blue Crab restaurant is under construction. Of course, we have Landry's and Wasabi, Marinus Cove, and Oak Oil. That's a relatively new restaurant. I'm going to try that. That's the lakefront section. The rest of them are here. So that's what's up to date for the moment. Any questions? I can. Oh, yeah, that sign's been up a while. I might want to mention also the I company, a vision center, taking over the old Sunshower House. They are still, remember they came to us and asked us if they could leave the building there and revise it to make it more compatible. I'm told they're still in the process of making some additions to make us happy with it. Still a little stark looking for Harrison Avenue. But I don't know anything about these other 2 buildings. The signs have been up. It's been on West End and Harrison as well, on the other side, and I have not seen any activity on those 2. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Larry. That's a lot of work. You want to email either zoning committee at Lakeview Civic or president at Lakeview Civic? We'll try to look into that. Those 2. Was it 1 or 2 you read? We'll try to look into that. Okay, next up, has anyone seen the stick figure out by the library over there? Well, we have someone to explain what that is. Jennifer Hardin with the Vacketeers.
Hi everyone, my name is Jennifer Hardin. I'm the operations manager for Vacketeer.org. So I wanted to come and talk to you about your sculpture. I brought everyone a present. There's magnets in the back, so you can have a sculpture in front of your fridge. But I wanted to talk a little bit about who we are and what these sculptures mean for New Orleans. It's a pretty exciting project. So basically what we are is we are an organization that partners with the city to carry out a mandatory evacuation. We're the prime contractor to actually do this. The reason for this is that New Orleans Homeland Security as well as the fire department drafted this plan called the City Assisted Evacuation Plan. And it's a really comprehensive plan, it's a good plan. But whenever they sat down and said, okay, how would we actually carry this out? The resources just really aren't there. You have about 2,100 police, fire, and security personnel. And based on last year's RTA ridership data, we're set to mean 25 to 30,000 people. These are people without access to cars or to reliable transportation. So when you look at that ratio, it's a pretty big need. And so that's why the city recognized that need and then partnered with the Vacketeer.org. So yours is complete, obviously, it's right out in front of the library. So kind of that process, I want to explain a little bit about what went into it. We partnered with the Arts Council of New Orleans and we put out an open call for artists. And we said, just submit any of your ideas. This is going to be the first in terms of the city collaborating and looking at art as functional art. And so we had 90 recipients. And out of those 90 recipients, there's an artist called Doug Kornfeld, and he came up with this design. So I've heard everything from, actually tonight I heard a good one here with reaching out to the library book back, and check one out, that's good. Catching Mardi Gras beads, hailing a cat, but it's really big. And the reason for this is, I don't know if you remember, but the old pickup point sign was about the size of a piece of paper. So it was extremely hard to find, and so this is a vast improvement. And it actually makes us the first city in the U.S. to use functional art for mandatory evacuation. So it's really exciting. How do we do this? We are a volunteer organization, like I said earlier. We recruit and train 500 volunteers to do this. So we go around and we talk to partner groups. I met Anne at the Mayor's Neighborhood Engagement meeting, and she invited me to come and speak to you. And so that's really why I'm here, is that we do this through partner groups. We look for teams of concerned citizens. The teams are about 5 to 10 people. We train you and we provide you with all the resources and the materials to actually carry this out. Once you are trained, we understand that this is a partnership, so we want to make sure that we're supporting your organization as well. So we offer training grants. We understand that your time is valuable, and so what we do is we actually put money back into the association's account for that, essentially. After the training grants, we do offer, it's called a Tier 1 Reentry Placard, and really what that means is it gives you a high priority in terms of once the mayor declares the city safe, you can actually come back in and check on your homes, properties, and this is really important for the association and what you do. The other thing that we do is we really like to recognize our partner groups and appreciate you, and so we have a patron party and also events, quarterly events, and those are really just ways for us to give you food, drink, and music and good stuff, and just recognize you for all the work that you do and the commitment and the partnership that we have. So I'll be working with Anne and also the communications person. We'll hopefully put it in the newsletter, and we'll also send out some training dates. The next one is the 27th. We're located inside of Homeland Security, that's on the 9th floor, and the training's on a Saturday. It's from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. So if you are interested, let me know, and also let me know if you are associated with a partner organization. So say, hey, I'm with LCIA, and that way the organization can get credit for it and can start to build up that cash. Other than that, that's really what I wanted to come to tell you about. The other thing, which is really important, if you do know of populations that you are concerned about that kind of require extra care. So elderly populations, people with any type of disability, whether it's physical disability, developmental disability, please have them register with 311. It takes about 5 to 10 minutes. It's really fast. And they'll actually follow up with you as well. But that means that when you're registered with 311, you don't have to go to an evacuation spot, so you wouldn't have to go to the Smith Library. They would actually come with a paratransit van and pick you up from your home. So this is really important as we go to support populations that we're concerned about in our community. And I can answer more questions about this, but I'm going to wrap it up. So any questions for me right now? And if not, it'll all be in the back. So we partnered with the Arts Council. They provided the capital essentially, and then we also partnered with the CDC, or the Center for Disease Control. They do these things called innovative grants, and so it's basically organizations that are really innovative, and they pay for the installation costs. And so right around $200,000 for all 17. 200,000. We can do a lot of people out of town too. Any other questions? Yes, ma'am. Oh, absolutely. I'll drop it by magnets, and I also have some cards that folks can take home. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much for coming.
Okay, next time, we're going to try to move along and get as much of this done as quickly as possible. Is Alliance for Affordable Energy, Annie Williams? Can you come on up? Thank you for being here. And then we're going to have Mark Udah's going to talk about the secret millionaire. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about Nord for about a minute, Nord C. And then we're going to have our committee reports, and we'll be done. Yes.
Good evening. Thank you very much for letting me speak here at the Civic Association meeting. My name is Annie Williams, and I'm with the Alliance for Affordable Energy. We are a nonprofit that advocates for fair, affordable, environmentally responsible energy policy on behalf of ratepayers in Louisiana. Energy policy isn't exactly exciting work, it's not exactly glamorous work, but it's good work, and it provides alternative sources, cost-effective programs to people who pay probably a little bit too much in their electric bill. And so, although New Orleans has already established an energy efficiency program called Energy Smart, Energy Smart it's a tax rebate program that incentivizes people to make energy efficiency upgrades to their home, to their buildings, and if they do that, then they receive a tax rebate from the government. And so, even though that we already have a program like this in New Orleans, I'm here today to ask you to support in providing a cost-effective program like Energy Smart to residents and small businesses to the rest of Louisiana. We're just asking that you call Commissioner Scott Gell. His number he represents District 2 in the Louisiana Public Service Commission. His phone number is 1-225-342-6900, and tell him that you support energy efficiency programs in Louisiana. He is especially interested in hearing from small businesses. If you need any information about the energy efficiency program or the kind of work that we do, please come and see me. I have a table back here, and that's kind of what I'm here today to talk to you about. So I'm just going to kind of keep it short. If there are any questions, I'll be happy to answer them after the meeting, okay? So thank you, Ms. Ann, I appreciate it.
Thank you, Ann. Next up, we have Mark Keough, our chef extraordinaire, talking about secret menu.
There's a few other things I want to tell you too that are going to be in the next e-blast, e-blast, but just let you know really briefly too, you may have seen this on the news that in Lakeview there's going to be a location where you can make appeals on the 2014 tax bills. That's at Lakeview Christian Center, which is the new church behind the where your driver's license where the Department of Motor Vehicles is. They'll start doing that on Monday, July 2nd through Friday, August 16th. There'll be like a sub-office for the assessor there, so if you have appeals, you can actually go there in our own neighborhood, which will be great. And a couple other things happening too. On Tuesday, August 13th, there'll be a Night at the Velvet Cactus benefiting St. Paul's Homecoming Center. So if you go there and eat and drink, Herb Dyer is going to send 20% of the proceeds back to St. Paul's Homecoming Center. So you can eat and drink heavily and support the Homecoming Center at the same time. It's a great deal. So and that's all the way from 4 o'clock to 10 p.m. But the big news is we finally have a real air date for the Secret Millionaire television show. You may remember a year ago, there was 2 years ago, they actually came to New Orleans, this national television program, under the disguise of an anonymous person doing a documentary on New Orleans. And they popped into different nonprofits, and one of them was St. Paul's Homecoming Center. And it's a guy who's pretending like he's volunteering to help out the community. Well, this was scheduled to air nationally on Sunday night last year. Right before the episode aired, it got bumped, the whole series, but they're bringing it back. The whole series will actually start on Sunday nights in prime time, 7 o'clock, starting on Sunday, August 4th. But the episode featuring St. Paul's Homecoming Center is going to be on Sunday, the 25th. So tune in, because it's all about the recovery of New Orleans and the work that St. Paul's Homecoming Center is doing, plus a couple of other great nonprofits. Really heartwarming, brings you back to the days when we all had to really pull together with this extraordinary effort to bring our city and our community back. So tune into it. We'll probably have a gathering over at the Bulldog, put it on the screens, and enjoy some libations while we're reminiscing and enjoying a great program. So thank you all.
Thank you, Mark. Is that July 26th? July 26th. August 25th. Okay, great. Real quick, I want to tell you about this New Orleans Recreation Department Commission. Yesterday was the deadline for us to offer a representative from Lakeview Civic and other Lakeview residents to be part of this new initiative by the city to create what they call community advisory team volunteers to try to enhance the recreation recreational services in the city, but we really wanted to make sure we had Lakeview representation. So we have someone, Trey Babin is going to be a representative from Lakeview Civic. He's a dad of two. He's coaching tonight. That's why he can't be here, so that's perfect. We have the Lakeview Boosters. Many of them have agreed to sign up, and they're all being oriented tomorrow. So I think that's a great thing to look out for. We want to make sure we follow Vernon Brown. We follow Florida Lee Park, and I'm not quite sure what this is going to look like when it's all done, but I wanted to make sure we had in place people from Lakeview to make sure we had our voice. So I think that's a very good thing. Next up is recognition of Lakeview business members, Nancy Light.
First, we'd like to recognize Vision Source that's here tonight. We have Dr. Michael Luminakis and Dr. Brock Sanji. Y'all would stand up, please. That was the business that we were discussing earlier on Harrison Avenue. Lakeview Vision Source offers comprehensive eye care to people of all ages, including children. They can detect and treat various eye diseases, handle eye emergencies such as red eye, and can help fight against dry eyes. They can also help you to fit in the latest designer eyewear and all different types of contact lenses. Lakeview Vision Source is located at the old weird yellow house at 222 Harrison Avenue. It's open Monday through Friday and has flexible hours as well for your community. Thank you so much for coming tonight. Welcome to the neighborhood. We also have Rebirth Energy Solutions here tonight. Katie Wolf. Katie, you stand up, please. You can stop by later and get additional information from her table. But Rebirth Energy Solutions is a locally owned and operated company. It was started in 2008 by Jacob Wolf, a Brother Martin graduate. They're located here in Lakeview and specialize in performing home energy assessments and implementing the energy efficiency upgrades. They are currently participating in a few energy programs available to Orleans Parish residents that offer cash rebates for most energy efficiency upgrades. So you definitely want to go and see her. I don't know about you, but my energy bills have been very high lately. We also have Bethel Baptist Church here tonight from 201 Fillmore. You guys could stand up, please. Bethel Baptist Church at 201 Fillmore is excited to be hosting their first Vacation Bible School since pre-Hurricane Katrina. Yes, thank you. The first Vacation Bible School will be Friday, August 2nd from 6 to 9:30, and Saturday, August 3rd from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Everyone is invited. They have a lot of information back there on their table, so please feel free to stop by. And also I'd like to remind you that Gulf Coast Bank and Trust will be having their annual auctions in August again this year. It's a month-long charity event that generally represents over 300 charities with over 1,000 items. They take all of the auction items that are donated by businesses or different charities. They put them on their website. And you can go to www.auctionsinAugust.com. That's where the items will be located. It'll have a list of the item, the charity, and the business, the business is donated or the charity. And it will also have the charity that the funds will be going to at the end of the month. It starts August 1st, it ends Friday, August 30th. It will not be ending on Saturday. So August 30th, 4 p.m. it will be ending. Anyone interested in putting an item in, please feel free to stop by. And like I said, all 16 of our branches will be participating. Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy. Now all we have left are committee reports, so we're moving right along. Freddie Yoder is going to be talking about the infrastructure committee, and I'm sure some streetscape updates.
Thank you very much. Harrison Avenue, for anybody that likes what's going on out there at Harrison Avenue and likes the development so far, the guy that's responsible for it is the design architect sitting right there across from Michael's Torres. If you don't like what's going on, he's the guy to blame for that as well. I know that the project's on schedule, the project, everything that's been done so far is absolutely breathtaking. When it gets over with, it'll be unbelievable. We've come a long way. He made it look easy in the design. We're trying to make it look easy in the actual incorporation of the construction, but it's not easy at all. It's like putting a puzzle together with a million parts to it, and half of them are missing. You have to figure out how to make it work, because it's all about making it fit with what's there. So our guys are doing a good job. If you have any questions about what's going on, what's to come, see me after the meeting. Our offices are on neutral ground. If you have some concerns in your business in this area, we've had some people call up and say, what about this, what about that? Our people will bend over backwards to try to answer your questions and help you as best they can. But remember one thing, we're all locked into a design. He drew the design, got it approved by the city of New Orleans, that's what we have to build. So there's not much room for change, if any at all. So we've got what we got to live with. So anyway, that's where we are on Harrison Avenue. I see Susan still here. I'm glad she's here. We're going to talk about the consent decree program that you heard me mention earlier. For those of y'all that don't know, and I want to thank Ann LeBlanc for the excellent article you wrote in the newsletter that talked about the consent decree, talks about the good work that's taking place with crime prevention, talked about everything that's going on in Neighborhood Watch. Susan was a real champion a couple of months ago when the city decided, we got word that maybe the city was going to head in another direction and we were going to have to pay higher rates for our police officers. We were going to have to pay a $5 surcharge. There were some things that were talked about maybe being done that were going to change the whole landscape of what we were doing and have been doing since 1998 with the Lakeland Crime Prevention District. The essence of it was that it was going to reduce the amount of patrols that we were able to turn out on the streets by as much as a third. So it was going to impact our budget over $200,000, and that money could possibly have gone to the city. Called up Susan, said, we need a meeting, we need to get to the bottom of this, we really don't like what's going on. She opened up her doors, she had people from the mayor's office, we had people from not necessarily the Justice Department, they were the next people we were going to get, but we had them from virtually every department in the city. And when the meeting was over, we all agreed that we were opposed to what I just described to you, and she was going to take the lead and see if she could get the city council to make an action that would let us do what we do that's been successful and has worked for all these 16 years. So we're happy for that. Susan, thank you very much for taking the leadership role. One last thing, and I'm going to let y'all go. I know you come to the meetings and you think the meetings are long. There is so much going on in this community that's behind the scenes that y'all really never know about. It makes this community one of the best places in the city to live. It's a very active community. We're in Baton Rouge. We're working with the legislature to make sure that they don't do things like what was talked about. They wanted to change our legislation pertaining to Lakeland Crime Prevention District. They wanted to impose additional taxes on us for to bring out and vote on it every year. They wanted to raise the fee. They wanted to do all kinds of different things. But we lobbied it, we got it done. But those type of things go on day in and day out in this community, not only in the ones that I'm involved in, but everybody else up here. So it's a very dynamic association. It does a lot of good for all the people in this community. You only hear about tip of the iceberg when you come in. There's things that go on behind the scenes constantly. And it's all because of our leaders. Thank you.
Thank you, for all that you do. My goal is to try to keep this meeting to an hour and a half. I know sometimes we go over, and maybe we'll finish earlier tonight if Beth can keep her words to a minimum. Safety.
National Night Out Against Crime is Tuesday, October 15th. We're in the process of organizing our second Safety Expo, which will be towards the latter part of October, beginning of November. We haven't picked a date yet. We're still trying to see what the Saints are going to be doing and everybody else. That's it.
Awesome. and Rita Legrand. Councilmember Guidry mentioned a meeting, and Tom and Rita attended and are going to report.
Good evening. I just want to let you know that the Blight Committee is still alive and well. We're still doing the same things we've been doing for years and years. We help you all and ourselves report properties that are blighted to the city so they can get it in their pipeline. When blighted properties come up to hearings, we attend those hearings, especially Rita LeGrand. She attends most of those hearings and tries to support the city's case so we get the property owners to clean up their properties. And we follow and monitor the progress of properties through the pipeline. We also write letters to property owners from time to time when we think it can make a difference. And believe it or not, sometimes it does make a difference. We write a letter, and sure enough, 4 or 5 weeks later, something happens on the property in a positive vein. The other thing we've been doing in the last few weeks is to provide input to the City Council, which is trying to modernize and upgrade the city code, as Council Member Guidry spoke about earlier, to try to be more inclusive, including occupied properties and unoccupied properties so they can be processed by code enforcement if their property is deteriorating. And so, we've been providing language and statements and information to the city council members, and we hope that that process is going to become a little stronger and a little more inclusive for the betterment of all the property owners in the city, including the ones here in Lakeview. So it's the same struggle. We continue to work it, and we still have scores of what we would call blighted properties, including what we call technically compliant but chronically vacant, boarded up properties, which kind of stick out like a sore thumb, even though the city would call those technically compliant. They don't prosecute those properties. We're trying to get the city council to improve the code so that such property owners can be somehow made to make their properties look more like they belong in the community that they're in. So we've been working on that, and we're making some progress, and hopefully this new update to the city code is going to be helpful in that regard. And I think that's it. Anything else?
Thank you, Tom. I tell you, I get a lot of emails past my desk, and most of them I forward on to him, so he's very busy. Last but not least, Ray Bergeron for a brief zoning committee report. I think having to do with base flood elevation or something like that.
Yes, I'll be quick. The only thing I wanted to bring out and make sure you're aware of is that on August 9th of 2014, the DFIRM maps that the Corps of Engineers has created to reduce the level of the base flood elevation will go into effect tentatively after it's been after public hearings are completed on making sure there's no objections. What that means is going to right now we're at minus 2.5. That's the way where you're supposed to build your house to minus 2.5, and that's what the insurance agencies use to determine your flood insurance. It is going to be going down to minus 5, so new houses will not have to be raised as much. And I do not know whether the insurance companies are going to change their rates as a result of that. But that's a mystery that we need to find out. So other than that, the zoning committee continues to work. We meet every first Friday of every month, and we continue to have variances and help a lot of people get their houses built. Thank you.
A lot of emails I get, I forward to Ray, a lot. So, at this time, I want to remind y'all we're recording this meeting, so if there's people that couldn't come and wanted to watch the segment, you can go back on our website and find that. And I think we're ready to close. Anyone have a motion to adjourn? Tom Snacks, enthusiastically, and Ralph second. All in favor? Meeting is over. Thank you for coming.